Hello. Are you in here good enough?
I am.
Scoot in a little more.
All right. So,
well, this is exciting. We're gonna wait just a few more. Wow, that was a big jump.
Okay. So I'm Tavia Forbes.
I'm Monet Masters.
And together we're Forbes Masters. We're an interior design firm out of Atlanta, Georgia. And we have been honored with the opportunity to share the mic now with Lovey and on the Drew Barrymore show. And so we're taking over our IG today. And we're going to go over some design tips. We'll answer some questions.
You'll get to know us. Yeah. We'll introduce our product and share where you could follow us. And hopefully have some time for questions.
Yes.
As they're coming in. All right.
I'm glad you like the blue. Thanks.
Let's start. So Forbes Masters is, well, why are we here?
We are here to share the mic now.
Okay.
And we're going to be giving you a little bit about us and how we got started. We have an interesting story. We covered a little bit on the show this morning.
Yes. So I was, should we just go into that?
Sure.
I was working my first commercial project after working my interior design firm by myself for about a year and a half. And basically I got my first large commercial project and was extremely over my head, and I could not fulfill it myself. And so the client brought Tavia in to consult the project, which in my opinion was very disrespectful, and it punctured my ego. And so basically by the end of that meeting, I was fired, and the client hired Tavia to complete the job. And so I went home that night like, oh my gosh, who is this person who took my job? And I started to research Tavia, and I found that she was a really cool girl. She's Jamaican like me. She had a very eclectic style, and because my purpose was to continue to grow and just focus on getting more acquainted and acclaimed within the industry, I thought it as an opportunity to learn and grow more. So I called her the next day.
And she sounded so humble and so sweet, and we ended up becoming design friends and work friends, and we would call each other on projects and help each other out. And then work became very daunting, as one would know, interior design projects are super difficult. It looks like some of y'all are wondering, I'm going to jump in where Drew is. Drew has given us her IG page, and we're going to be talking about interior design today and how we formed as a business. So back to Monet and I.
My call.
Right? And it was probably 2 years for us to be friends, and then trying to figure out what we're going to do.
We were basically work friends.
Right. And we decided.
But I was still kind of side-eyeing Tavia, like while being work friends, I was still like, what is she doing that I could now implement in my own business? But still learning and getting to know this person. But she was still the person that took my job.
Right.
So
we're gonna let that go one day.
No, it's seriously. So that was the beginning, and then we grew a real friendship.
Yes, and then a partnership after really being thrown into a project together. We didn't even, so there are a lot of serendipitous moments, I guess, in our partnership, and moments of how even I got started in interior design and how we met, and it's been a wild ride, and here we are now. And we've been given the opportunity to talk to y'all about design, so if y'all have any questions, but we're gonna lead with some tips about your walls. So we talked about a little bit today on the show and how paint can be transformative, and wallpaper, which we have our own wallpaper line, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But many of you are looking to really spruce up your spaces. Everyone's stuck at home with quarantine, and unfortunately are working from home. Well, some are happy about that, but working from home and having to carve out spaces in their homes for, you know, a little desk here, working at the kitchen table, trying to find a space that feels private, but it's not. And
right. I mean, really, they just want to elevate it because they're in their home a lot more, right? And so you're seeing all the things that you need to fix. You're not inspired, and so forth. So we've been getting a lot of calls about people just wanting their home offices done, or they want a nice backdrop for their Zoom calls. And a few ways that you could do that is create little vignettes with some furniture. So whether you have your credenza, which is serving as your storage, or you have a console table, as we mentioned on the show, you can have a mirror above that with some art, or a big piece of art that kind of represents a favorite trip that you took and is now a conversation starter when you're on your Zoom call and you have to have the conversation before the meeting. But what we love most is the component of wallpaper, just a very large pattern. It's very bold, and you can do that by way of professional hanging, or you can use a pill and stick wallpaper. So just to stop there, we are talking about Forbes Masters, our interior design firm, and we're talking about product, interior design. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot those in the comment box. Drew has been gracious enough to give us her page for about 40 minutes. So wallpaper.
I want to see Drew. Well, wallpaper is a great way to bring some life to your walls and add some color, pattern, and some dimension. And they're great options. If you're a renter, we have peel and stick wallpaper, which you can put up yourselves, and you can take a look at a little kind of how-to video on that. And then the more traditional route is, calling your wallpaper installer and getting that done on your ceiling. Mm-hmm. Like, let's not forget the fifth wall, though maybe not so great for a zoom background, but definitely for impact when you're walking into a space and your eyes are lifted upwards, taking a look at a beautiful either mural pattern or a tight pattern or a triangle.
Yeah. So to answer one of the questions, to install wallpaper, is it expensive? It depends on how tall your walls are, how wide the wall is, the pattern of the paper, and so forth. There's a lot of factors, but if you were looking for just one wall behind you, let's say a 10 by 10 wall, you probably should suspect that install to run you maybe $400 to $600. But the pill and stick, like Tavia was mentioning, you can install yourself. It will not damage your walls, and it will just come down very easily. Now, if either of those options are attractive to you, then you can do a painted wall. But here's the don't, and I'm pretty sure we agree on the don't.
The accent wall.
How to elevate the accent wall, rather.
Yes. So instead of just painting one wall in your space, try coming out a little bit and creating a wing, or painting a bit of the ceiling, or just going up and over on your ceiling. If that's a little too daunting, I think painting half the wall, maybe the lower part of the wall, and then leaving the space white, and then allowing a piece of art to bridge the gap between the two.
Yeah.
So there's so many ways that you can actually make the accent wall dynamic. Just getting a little creative, color blocking, and creating a pattern. That's just tape. And taping off with a level and painting some corresponding colors, maybe a few different shades of periwinkle.
Yeah.
Liking the vibe right now.
And then, you know what, another thing is, let's just say you're more minimal, you like neutral palettes, then go larger with your artwork. I think that a lot of people have this misconception that it's expensive to frame art instead of just buying a ready-made frame, and it's really not. You can go to your local printing shop, have your piece of art scanned in, and they can enlarge it to make sure it's not pixelated. And then you can go to your local framer and have a 24 by 36 framed, let's just say a basic frame, for about $100, and that's nothing. So having a big, grand piece of art behind your desk too could be really, really nice.
You can connect with us at Forbes Masters. Our website is ForbesMasters.com. I saw a couple of the comments rolling in, and you can just visit our IG page and see some more inspiration and kind of how our take on accent walls, our take on dynamic walls. We like to be pretty bold with really saturated colors in our choices. And then if not, and we're doing all white walls, then we're bold with art, or we're bold with
texture.
Yeah.
Lots of texture.
Using wallpapers that have like a gauzy feel to them sometimes.
Yes. And so for everyone who is just now getting to the chat room, we are Forbes Masters. I'm Monet Masters.
I'm Tavia Forbes.
And we have an interior design company here in Atlanta, but we work, which we'll talk about now, in and out of state. And we do a vast number of projects at a time, as well as a diverse types of projects.
Yes.
So we work on a little bit of commercial, which comes by way of our clients, primarily residential design. but we've worked all of your major cities. Really.
Yes, pretty much everywhere. New York, Dallas, Chicago, LA, and we are doing a lot of new construction homes at the moment. So everyone's still building, and so it's been a lot of fun going into like kitchen and bath designs and giving helpful tips there and sharing some of those renderings on our Instagram page. They're all being built right now and probably won't be done until the end of 2021, 2022. So please stay tuned to see how those projects end up.
Yeah. But let's tell you a little bit about how we do business and our types of projects. So typically we operate in 3 phases. After we have approved your project and have gotten to know you and we know the terms, we go into our first phase, which is the design phase. We take about 4 to 6 weeks per 2 rooms. Typically we're designing whole homes, and we will take a good amount of time to make sure the concept is layered and that we really understand your design style to present that design for that space. And some of the things that we'll bring, some of the deliverables include renderings, actual physical samples. If we're putting up wallpaper, we're going to bring the wallpaper sample. This is our wallpaper, which you can find at Shop Forbes Masters on IG. And then basically we go through the presentation and hopefully everything is approved. If not, we'll go into revisions.
And after all that is done, while we're shopping and getting construction done and we're practically kicking you out of your home, we bring everything in for our final install, and we try to have like a little HGTV moment. You go away and we come in and tear everything up and create that space for you. So when you come home, it is a bit of a surprise.
Yes. All right, so we're just gonna go into some fun facts. That is correct. Shop Forbes Masters is where you could find all of our wallpaper and more products that we'll be adding. And then at Forbes Masters is where you could see our interior design projects from start to finish. If you pay attention to Drew's stories, there are a few before and afters, and that's just a glimpse into the huge transformations that we like to have. Yeah.
Drew is allowing us to take over her
Everyone's
IG.
like,
Everyone's like,
"Where's
where's Drew?" So we're just hanging out with y'all for about 30 minutes to let you know some tips about interior design, and you can find us at ForbesMasters.com. Where's Charlie Sancho? That's so cute.
So a few facts about Tavia and myself. We are both Jamaican. Tavia actually
was born in Jamaica, Mandeville.
And I grew up in Los Angeles, California, and my father is Jamaican. So that was, outside of both being designers, that was the first thing that we vibed on. Did I even know you were? Yeah, I did, because I researched you.
Right.
I was gonna say, did I know you were Jamaican? But that's a fun fact. And what is your inspiration, or what's one of your favorite hobbies?
One of my favorite hobbies, I guess when I'm not eating gummy bears, I am getting dressed up and prepared for Halloween.
Oh, hey, Stacey Forbes.
Oh, that's my sister.
You said
Halloween
yeah. And gummy bears. I love to be, but I would say my favorite hobby is like anything that's active. Mm-hmm. So I recently became a cyclist. I've been shopping for a bike for months, and I finally pulled the trigger. Anything from running, tennis. I'm a tennis player. And the other thing I would say is meditation and yoga have become like my number one hobby type. Yeah, but my number one hobby. And so pertaining to inspiration and design, what would you say one of your favorite things to do, explore?
Art. Absolutely. Going through, I've purchased tons of art books and peruse the internet and just take a look at different historic art movements. Have you ever met Usain Bolt? No, I haven't. And travel is such a huge thing. I mean, we're all kind of stuck where we are now, but taking a look at different architectural styles and being inspired by different colors and how other people live in other countries to really influence how we design here and for our clients here in America.
And it's so important. I feel like with designers, everyone wants to know, what's your design style? Where do you get your inspiration? And I think the question is a little vague, because as a designer, as a creator, we are to find inspiration absolutely everywhere. And so that's exactly where we gain our inspiration. But when we're on a project, our client is our inspiration. So we are getting to know them. We want to know where they traveled, what their favorite color is, the type of activities go on in the house, and so forth. And so they are our first research and our inspiration, and that's how we build our projects. And I guess that's why it's so hard designing for ourselves.
Right.
I think it took me about 3 years to have like a style in my own house.
And we encourage you to really look inward for your design style and actually embrace who you are, embrace the quirks, embrace the weird, and develop. Don't fall into just one niche. I know, like, modern farmhouse is very popular right now. It's very sleek, it's very relaxing. But if you love Star Wars, like, put up a picture of Yoda. If you love the color blue, paint the entire room blue.
Yeah.
Really embrace who you are.
Base boards and molding.
Yes, and the ceiling. So look inward for your own design style, and you can find examples of that. I think the internet is a great place to figure out what the rules are, how high you should hang a picture, how your window treatment should look. But what that pattern is up to you, and however you want to show your collectibles, frame them, treat them like they're special, and you're gonna have a home that feels very you.
Yeah, and it's not going to look commercial. It's not going to look like those things that you passed in, fill in the blank store. But it's going to be a lot more personable, and that's what we try to do with our clients, is to bring out their character and their style in their home. So when you visit our website or online profiles, which, we have an IG page, Forbes Masters. We have an IG page for our product, Shop Forbes Masters. We also have a house page where you can see all of our reviews and all of our projects, including the before pictures. You'll see that there's not a lot of consistent looks in our portfolio, and it's because we cater to the client. So every project is not the same, and every project that we complete is just its own, and it just makes it that much more special. I think I had...
There are a few questions.
My phone. Shop Forbes Masters is not a website. It is a IG page.
Where is Drew? Oh.
So again, we are Forbes Masters. We are located here in Atlanta. We have an interior design firm. Our senior designers are ourselves, Monet Masters and Tavia Forbes. And you could follow us at Forbes Masters on IG, as well as Facebook or House.
Mm-hmm. And we're here with the Share the Mic Now campaign, which co-founder Lovey has been so gracious to invite us in on. And we're taking over Drew Barrymore's page right now because she's sharing the mic now. And we absolutely appreciate the collaboration, the sisterhood, and
support.
Yeah, and as women in business, it is so important to support each other, to encourage each other, to critique each other, and to elevate one another and to give a voice. And so we're really appreciative of this opportunity to chat with y'all, tell y'all about our business and about design, something that we're very passionate about, something that we love and that we want to share with everyone. So you can follow us at Forbes Masters, and just the it's kind of close to us because we're in a partnership, and then also partnering with other women, and this just chain and this network of support that's happening right now, and encouragement. Many, no woman is an island, and many of us are, stand on the pillar of someone else that worked really hard. I don't know if I'd be an interior designer if it were not for my mentor, Malik Teal. And the introduction to Lovey, to Share the Mic Now, it's a very humbling experience, and we're so happy to be here.
There have been absolutely a lot of people that have contributed to where we are now, and we are extremely thankful and appreciative to everyone. Like Tavia said, including Lovey, Drew, with even this most recent opportunity, and so we feel strongly about continuing to help other women of color, minorities, anyone who's in need of help, because we've been elevated and helped so often on this journey. Tavia and I think the first year of working with each other, we had a huge sit down because we were having a lot of issues coming from our own separate ways in our own businesses and trying to bring that within the new established business. We had a lot of issues that we needed to iron out and get on the same page, and we had a lot of people around us supporting us and helping us to do that. And so we find moments like this extra special for that reason, and then also, feel the need to want to give back. So having opportunities like this to mention other Black brands, to tell you a little bit about ourselves is just imperative. So we all know that the website just has endless resources and opportunities to support Black businesses, some of which that we love. You could visit Drew's stories. Our last story, we are actually showcasing a lot of vendors on that post that we support and love. One of which is 52 Kipo?
54 Kipo.
54 Kipo, and I believe that's the IG page. Another one is Brown Bohemians, of which we love. So the cover of that picture is actually the cover of their book, and it is a beautiful coffee table book. We're always looking for great coffee table books to top off a expensive table, and the pages are just lined with artists all over the world. So it's a great coffee table book.
I think a lot of the questions, I'm going to jump in to say we've been in business for 4 years now. We're on our, are we on our 4th year?
We're in our 4th year.
We're in our 4th year. We've lost track of time. A lot has happened, but partnership is beautiful. It is hard, and it is like a marriage. And when you're working on a business together, you have to remember to be working on your business together.
And working on yourself.
Yes.
Absolutely working on yourself.
And a shout out to therapy.
Everyone go and get therapy. It will only better your life, yourself, your relationships, your business,
How was
everything.
COVID for y'all? COVID was interesting. We did not think that we would be still moving as quickly as we are, but the home became a very important space. And a lot of people looked inward, and now we're in transforming spaces into homework areas for children.
Offices, obviously.
Yes, gyms, meditation rooms.
Even more comfortable living rooms.
Yes.
Before it was just stylish, pretty. You weren't in your living room as much, maybe. And now, we're getting more requests for comfortable custom sofas or indoor-outdoor fabric, because people are using their seating arrangements a lot more and need to be more durable. Mm-hmm. But we have been very, very active during COVID, and we're so thankful for that too, because we realized a lot of people had to temporarily close their business or just haven't been getting the same level of work. And so we're extremely, extremely thankful and fortunate in that area. Do you want to grab my phone?
Oh.
I think we have a few notes on here.
Let's see. What's the name of your business? Forbes Masters. Forbes like the magazine, Masters like the degree.
Let's go over some do's and don'ts.
Ooh.
We'll
do this quickly.
Just like products, we have, we started at 1:30, right? Mm-hmm. Just like products, we have, there's a lot of information out there on the net. And so we just want to.
You just got a marriage request.
Yeah, I'm trying not to. So yeah, with all the product, there are a lot of product and information out there. There's a lot of false information, and so there's a lot of do's and don'ts on what to do and what not to do as it relates to the home. And just a few. So very simple. When hanging curtains, it's very important that you're hanging your curtains at least 10 inches to a foot above the windowsill. And it's just as important for those curtains to hit the floor. High water pants are back in, not high water drapes. We don't do high water drapes. Your drapes should be hitting the floor always.
Please and thank you. And what's another one?
Well, how about elevating the accent wall?
We touched on that a little bit in the beginning, but if y'all missed it, try not to just paint one wall in your home. Bring that wall out maybe a foot on either side, or paint the ceiling as well, or paint the entire room. But let's just
keep it simple.
Yeah.
Another one is accessorizing. With bookshelves or with your coffee table, it has been on trend for a long time just to clad it with all types of things. You have books, you have plants, you have ornaments, you have pictures. I personally would say reserve your walls for picture moments, whether it's family or casual pictures, because it just makes it a lot more formal. I actually love the idea of a more casual picture in a frame on the wall. And when it comes to accessorizing your bookshelves or your coffee table, I would stick with items that you absolutely love, that you connect with, and keep it minimal. It will just make those items a lot more important rather than having several things on your table or in your bookcases.
And try to put things away. Decrease clutter.
Yes.
That's one amazing way to really make your home stylish. Just putting things in nice pretty boxes, putting them under the counter, but kind of trying to keep a clean palette, and then you will feel so inspired to do the rest. But clean the clutter first.
Yes. And I think I just saw a question about can you paint your walls a different color? I would say if the space is large enough, also if you have a theme, there's a lot of different factors. I would honestly consult a professional with this one, consult an interior designer. But in general, if the room is large enough, I would still stick with one palette of colors. So when you go to Home Depot or Sherwin-Williams or whatever, you'll see a swatch with several different colors on it. If you're going to do different colors, I would stay in like that monochromatic of tones or just the difference in shades, but definitely not a red wall, not a blue wall. It's just going to create a lot of energy and fuss, and again, depending upon the room, how tall the ceilings are, how big the space is, there's many different rules.
And try to stay away from, and this is a very obvious, or I think it is, semi-gloss paint on your walls. Go flat or go high gloss, but that's going to be done by a serious professional. So if you're painting yourselves, please stay with flat paint. It's going to make for the smoothest finish, and it's going to look very chic.
Absolutely. And you know what? There's a lot of DIY projects that I think need a little more information behind them before people tackle them, like the paint. Right? Or if you are painting a piece of furniture, what are some things that you absolutely should know about that? Because not all furniture, well, I was going to say, not all furniture is made by with the same material. So some pieces of furniture are not paintable, and I think people are like, oh, I could just paint it, it's old, and it's like, no, not really.
Not if it has a veneer or a lacquer on it already, but you can paint solid wood furniture or with a slight wood veneer, just with a little scuffing with some sandpaper, and then primer, and then paint, and you can remix your furniture, add new hardware. There's so many vendors that have beautiful hardware that you can find on Etsy. Etsy's a great place to pretty much source the world for art, rugs, anything that you would need to really kind of step out of the box and not look so cookie cutter.
Absolutely. And I saw two questions. So one question was, can you paint kitchen cabinets? And then the other question was, is there a rule for painting certain colors within certain rooms? I think I'll let you tackle the kitchen question.
Painting kitchen cabinets, you want them to be durable, so you are going to want a professional painter to do that. I think the very flat cabinets, probably circa 1950s or so, you can give those a light sanding and paint them yourself. With a roller, do know that you are going to get a little bit of texture. So if you're not getting your cabinet sprayed by a professional, you are going to have a little texture on there, and then you're going to have to kind of refresh that paint over time. But you can do it yourself. I would stick to ones that are flat, not shaker style. It's very difficult to paint those.
But if you're getting a contractor involved, we find that the price for painting cabinets is almost just as much as just getting new cabinets. So unless you're doing a DIY project and painting yourself,
you might as well.
you might get a professional involved. And as far as painting certain colors for certain rooms, there is a real thing called color theory. Certain colors will evoke certain energy, and so like your bedroom, we had a story talking about getting moody in the bedroom. It's so appropriate. It may not be a place that you don't want to paint your kitchen or living room too dark, because that's where you're lounging, that's where you're lively, and it might be too dim. And so in those rooms, you want to use more light, airy pastels, or just lighter colors in general. Maybe even colors that are a more warm tone. And in the bedroom, without a doubt, you can do the cooler colors, the darker colors. So I hope that answered your question.
I'm looking to see if any more roll in. There are a lot of questions about paint. What colors to use for a small bathroom? Small bathrooms are a great place to do whatever you want. Powder bathrooms, we've done saturated like oxblood colors, black patterns. The powder bathroom is where you want
Crazy.
Yes, it's a small space. Why not? But for small full bathrooms, maybe something spa-like, keeping it all white, or doing a light pastel color, something that feels very refreshing and very clean.
Any more design questions? While those questions come in, we're going to reintroduce ourselves. I am Monet Masters.
And I'm Tavia Forbes.
And we are taking over Drew Barrymore's page today. In lieu of Lovey's campaign, Share the Mic Lovey hashtag, we've had the opportunity to just take over the page and tell you a little bit about ourselves and who we are and what we do. So here we are. Thank you so much for all of the love and the comments, and again for this opportunity. Like I said, you can see a lot of our work before, middle, after, mess ups, success stories, Tavia and I being crazy while we're out shopping. We are very active on our social media account, and we would love to have you as a part of our social media family. So you can find us at Forbes Masters, and our wallpaper, which is behind us, you can.
Yeah, we recently started collaboration with Mitchell Black wall coverings. Mitchell Black is also another Black female-owned company, and we are so happy to be a part of the Mitchell Black family and able to produce these interesting patterns, quirky, fun, and a piece of us that we can share with everyone. Most of the wallpapers were Monet's musings on her sketch pad, or when we started out and we didn't have the budget for wallpaper, and we would do hand painted patterns on walls using either tape or just freestyling it, and decided to just simply ask. So we asked Mitchell Black if you'd be interested in the wallpaper line with us, and she said absolutely, and here we are just a few months later. Yeah. So the takeaway from that is just ask.
Yeah, you never know what your opportunities can be, and what they will reveal and offer you without asking. Sometimes they'll just show up in your doorstep, and then other times they'll come by way of friends or people you know. But we have also a lot of success stories and have seen a lot come from just asking. So,
and be okay with no. Just ask again.
Yeah, be okay with no.
Thank you.
What else? What else can we talk about here? We've talked about Forbes Masters, what we do. We specialize in residential design. We also do commercial design. We've spoken about our product. We have spoken about ourselves, how we met each other, what are some fun facts about us. And we've spoken about a little do's and don'ts as far as like what to do in the home. And I think because there's just so much more that we could share there, I want to go back into it.
Okay.
Because we like to educate. And so even on our projects, if we mess up on something, 9 times out of 10, you're going to see it.
Right.
9 times out of 10, I'll say 8 times out of 10, it's not our fault, maybe.
That's when you blame the contractor.
Right. But yes, we are in Atlanta. We do fly in and out of Atlanta for our clients and for some of our projects. We have worked in Los Angeles, New York, New Jersey, South Carolina, North Carolina, Texas, Barbados, Jamaica, Mexico. We like to go everywhere. We can design absolutely anywhere.
And now in a digital age, it's getting a lot easier. Everyone's more accustomed to being on Zoom, and so we are managing a few projects out of state via technology.
Oh, designer kitchen and bath. We love you. And such a great question. They asked what inspires us individually. I think that the clients inspire me. Nature inspires me. A good color palette, a good fabric inspires me. A nice vintage piece of furniture that we have to use in a project inspires me.
It's always going to, like, art, travel, there's just so much inspiration out there. So it's just kind of opening your eyes and taking some still moments to focus on, why does this make me feel happy? Is it the color? Is it the texture? And so those are questions that we ask ourselves when we're creating designs. And so we encourage you to ask yourselves the same questions, like, why do I like this? And then implement it in your home. Need ideas for the pool area.
So back to do's and don'ts. Well, one good one is the rug size. Rug size in your bedroom, rug size in your living room. Oftentimes we'll walk into a house and we'll see a rug that is just too small. And a good way to tell if your rug is too small is if when you're living, your sofa and your accent chairs are in the living room and nothing is hitting the rug because it's too small and just kind of floating in the middle, and it looks like an island sitting in the middle of wood floor land, then at that point it's too small. Your rug should be large enough to at least fit and meet the front legs of surrounding pieces of furniture, meaning your accent, chairs, your sofa, and so forth.
And if it's not large enough and you really, really love this rug, just run out and buy a sisal and layer your rugs. It will create a border and actually make that space feel larger. So takeaway here, the larger floor covering, the larger the room appears. So you do not want to have small square footage, so get a larger rug or give the illusion that it's larger.
Yes. And another...
it's probably going to be the shower curtain for me.
Okay.
Let's add like regular curtains to your shower. So instead of doing a shower curtain straight across, go from the ceiling to the floor, do two curtains and let them hit the floor. And it's going to just feel a little bit more elevated rather than the function of a shower curtain or the pattern of a shower curtain. You can translate that pattern into your drapery instead of having a shower curtain.
Which I love because I love baths. And then when I get in my bath, I shut those curtains and it's like I'm creating my own steam shower, of which I cannot afford right now. So I'm creating my own steam with that. A question that was asked was, how high should you hang your chandelier above your dining table?
30 to 36 inches above the dining table, depending on how high the ceilings are as well. But you want to have enough clearance. But and another note about light fixtures, getting light fixtures that are too small.
Right.
So add the length and the width of the room, translate that to inches, and that's exactly what your light fixture should be. So a 10 by 10 room is going to yield a 20-inch in diameter light fixture. So really quick, easy way to know if you're getting a fixture that's too small. But you can always go larger, but try not to go too small.
Mm-hmm. Think about, like, as far as hanging your chandelier at the right height, think about if the table were to move and your average height, you should be able to clear the chandelier when walking underneath it. That I don't know if it's worse to have it hung too low rather than too high. But it's important to get that right. And there are a lot of formulas to find the size of rug or the size of chandelier or how high the chandelier should be hung, just on Google. So aside from residential projects, another thing that we do is commercial projects, or we build homes from scratch with our clients, or we'll do renovations. Renovations, I'll say, is probably the most common in the projects outside of just standard interior design work. And one thing I will say is, when you are seeking a contractor for your projects, to consult with several before landing on one. You want to be sure that you are getting quotes from all the different contractors, just so that you can cross-reference and compare each. You also want to make sure that it's very thorough, that you understand what the cost is going to be, the allowance of materials that you will have when you go in the phase of selecting your tile or selecting your light fixtures if you're not working with an interior designer. But it's very imperative that you get as much information and clarity, even on communication style and when you'll get updates before moving forward with a contractor, again, if you're not working with an interior designer, because it can get very hairy, very messy, very quickly. And you don't want to have to go through that, especially if you're living in your home at the time of renovation.
So it looks like we are nearing our end of our live, and we really do hope that you enjoyed our tips and getting to know us. So that last takeaway about doing your research before getting into any renovation projects and interviewing your contractor, these are all things that we deal with day in and day out, and we're so happy to be able to share some of our little bit of knowledge about the home and interior space, and so thankful for Drew Barrymore for allowing us to take over her IG page today, and for Lovey for sharing the mic now and giving us a platform to really, talk about something that we absolutely love and love doing this day in, day out. So to follow us on ForbesMasters.com, get to know us a little bit more. We are so happy to share design tips. We share them every week or so, and take a look at some of our projects.
And again, I am Monet Masters.
And I'm Tavia Forbes.
And we have had a wonderful time with you. Thank you again for having us. Thank Drew Barrymore's entire team. Thank you, Lovey. Thank you, every follower, every mentor, everyone who have helped us along the way. We are extremely humbled by this opportunity, and thank you guys for being so patient with us. I've seen several "where is Drew" comments. We love Drew for giving us this opportunity. She's been gracious enough to give us this time, so thank you so much, and we hope to find you on one of our platforms.
Bye.
Bye.